Salvatore Skipoli. This is the last review video that we have. The rest of the videos should be much better than these because I'm trying to cram so much stuff in. This video is no different, has a bunch of stuff. It is for exercise Roman numeral 7D. So, as always, if there's something that you would like to read about further, or there are a couple smaller things that I don't mention in this video, please check in chapters 49 to 54 in Ecce Romani book 2. But we are going to start with the smallest part that I wanted to go over with you right now. Impersonal verbs. These are goofy little things. They can't have an actual person as the nominative in the sentence. So that means your subject is always it. It is necessary. It is raining. It is pleasing. It is fought. So since that's the case, each form needs to end in a T, or T, or tour, or it, whatever it is, it's the third person singular form of the verb. All right, that is really the only form, and I want to actually show you an image that I have. It should also be a Moodle. Oh gosh, Moodle. So impersonal verbs, this is from a different textbook series, which I love. It's in my classroom too, if you ever want to take a look at it. This gives a nice list of impersonal verbs, okay, right here, and then we have their meanings. You can see they all start with it. Isn't it wonderful? And then they conjugated them below. Notice that they aren't actually conjugated. They're just given in the different tenses, still in the third person singular. Okay, and there are a couple examples down here of how English can be totally different from what the literal Latin is actually saying. These down here are in impersonal verbs, but they're in the passive, so it makes them goofy. So it should be it was fought, but English turns it into there was a battle. That's kind of different, but you won't run into those. But just a heads up, later. Okay, so let's go back here. And the second thing I want to talk about is more subjunctive tenses. So I have the present subjunctive and the perfect subjunctive. This is still subjunctive, like the imperfect and the pluperfect that we've already talked about. It's that futuristic potential idea where it's something that might happen in the future, or could, or would, or should happen in the future. Those are all the subjunctive forms in English. So let's actually go and look at these because they're annoying, and that's why your book actually gives them to you later. Because they're difficult to form. They look like other stuff. So one note I want to make about the present subjunctive, there is a mnemonic device that we're going to use. We eat clams. Why is that capitalized? I don't know. In Siberia. No, that should be capitalized. Okay. We're going to focus on the E in we, the EA in eat, the A in the no, as I struggle, the A in clams, and then the IA, nope, in the Siberia. Okay, we're going to focus on that, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. Nope, wrong one. Okay, remember we're focusing on the E and we for the first conjugation, and it's pretty much the same as amo, amas, samat, amama, samata, samat, except the vowel changes from an A to an E, like in the we. Okay, in second conjugation, we're going to pay attention to the EA in eat. So you can see, instead of having just an E, habet, habes, habet, habemos, habetus, habent. They added an A in the present subjunctive. So the vowels are all changing. In the third conjugation, we're going to pay attention to clams, the A in clams. It changes. It's usually an I in the indicative, but in the subjunctive, it's an A in 3-0 and in 3-IO. Okay. And then the Siberia talks about fourth conjugation, where you have an IA. So I guess 3-IO can be lumped into the IA, but it really doesn't matter as long as you know that there's an A in there instead of just the I. I'm happy. So if you lump it with the third conjugation with the A or the fourth conjugation with the IA, whatever floats your little Latin boat. So those are the present subjunctive forms. I sincerely apologize. These are annoying. And then we have the perfect subjunctive. Don't pay any attention to this over here or this over here, unless you just want to look at the older tenses. But the perfect tense subjunctive right here, it actually looks like another tense. It looks like future perfect indicative with one exception. The first one, instead of being amawero, it's amawerim. That is the only difference between perfect subjunctive and future perfect indicative. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my little notebook and make a note of that, that the perfect subjunctive looks like the future perfect indicative, except for the first form, first person singular, is erim, no, not erin, instead of ero. The next thing I want to talk about are indirect commands. Now, when you have subjunctives, you will regularly be talking about some indirect discourse, which is one of my favorite things. So indirect commands, you're reporting a command. It's a reported command. Okay. So trying to think of the Ecce example that they always use. I asked that you mow the yard. So this is actually someone reporting this command to the person they've already commanded. I asked that you mow the yard. That's all I asked. Can you imagine a parent saying that? We have in the main clause, I ask. This is going to be an indicative verb. It's an indicative asking verb. That's the first thing you're going to see. Three things that you're going to see in these. Some sort of asking verb in the indicative. You're going to have in the middle, ut will go in the middle there. So let me type that. Ut. And then you will, of course, end with a subjunctive verb. No matter what tense it is, doesn't matter as long as it's subjunctive verb. That's how you know you're dealing with an indirect command. And other than that, the meanings of the words will actually help you in translating it, as long as you remember that ut in this case is translated as that. There are about 17 different translations of ut, so just pay attention to what else is in the sentence so you know how to translate it. After indirect commands, we're going to go to purpose clauses. Purpose clauses, result clauses, and then ut clauses. I only have a couple minutes left, so let's try to smush those a little bit. I actually have some stuff to show you. Ut clauses, there's a lot of different uses for ut. And purpose clauses, result clauses, and indirect commands, which we just looked at, are included in all of that. So let's start with the purpose clauses. You're going to see and I actually have this document on Moodle for you, but you're going to see um, a lot of the same things. You have three things to look out for. You have a subjunctive for sure, like in this example here, winit ut eam videat. A subjunctive, you're going to need ut in the middle, and then you're going to need to start with any indicative verb. There's no special kind of verb that you need. It's just any verb. So that makes these kind of hard to pick out. So I have a couple notes to make about purpose clause. Purpose clauses. It is a form of ut. You're showing purpose, of course. Showing purpose. You still need three things. You need an indicative verb, you need ut, and you need a subjunctive verb. Now the ut is translated differently in this section, or in this clause. Sorry, not plus. In order to, or so that. Either one is fine. So let's go look at our example again. He comes in order that he might see her. All right, notice the futuristic potential word for in English is might here. In order that, or in order to, same idea. What else do we have? The girl left that she not be seen. That we don't use this in American English all that much, so we need to put in the in order to in the US of A here. So the next one we want to talk about is result. These are easily my favorite subjunctive form because I can use yo mama jokes as an example. There are not very many grammar topics that include using things such as yo mama jokes. So ut clauses. Let's look at a couple examples real quick. He did such great things that he saved the city. So such is one of the things that you're going to be looking for in the Latin. It's tanta. The other thing in English, it's that, but in Latin, it's ut. Boom, there's your ut again. And then there's a subjunctive. Now, in English, there's no indicator that it's subjunctive. That's why it's so hard to translate. So let's go to our notes. Result clauses. Shows the result of not just a situation, but of some characteristic. So an example, an English example, I'm sorry, I have to use yo mama jokes. And boom, your mama's so fat that she has her own zip code. I think that one's been done, but oh well, it's perfect for our example. So the characteristic is that she's so fat, and the result of her being so fat is that she has her own zip code. Okay, so you need three things again. You need a so word. So or such or so much or something like that, something that indicates so. You need, so word, you need ut, and you need a subjunctive verb. That's what you're looking for in Latin. And the ut clauses are these three clauses. Try not to get them confused. Know that ut means something different in most of them. In this one, we're back to just that. Okay. So good luck with Roman numeral 7D in Ecce. I only have 30 seconds. Let me think of a direction for your sheet. Please. I have nothing. Illustrate the mnemonic device that was in this video. Have a wonderful time with the exercise. Straw out.